Alrighty, and so one thing I like to do is add support for images for our given products. So if you may have noticed in our database, if you looked at the products table, then there's an entry here called image URL, and it has assets, image, products. And right now, each one of these products simply have a placeholder file that it references. We could always update that later. But for now, we'll just go ahead and use this placeholder file and see how this will work out. So right now, that's simply the name or the location of the file. We actually need to add this to our given project. So in your Angular projects under your source directory, there's an assets directory. And so this is a special directory where you can place your web assets like images, JavaScript, CSS, PDFs, whatever. You can also add subdirectories here with any name, and these items will be served up by the given application. So what I'll do is I'll actually place our placeholder images here in this assets subdirectory. So in our file system, we actually have some starter files that you can make use of. So if you look in the e-commerce project 01 starter files, there's a directory here called Angular Image Assets. So inside of here, there's an images subdirectory that has products, placeholder.png. So we'll actually copy that images folder into our given project. And I'll show you a nice little technique here. You can simply drag and drop the images folder to the assets folder in your Angular project. And there we go. So we have this placeholder.png. So now we can reference this in our given Angular application. So let's add a new column here for our image. And it won't have a name or anything. We'll just give a little empty TD here, just so we have a column. And then what I'll do in the actual TD section, I'll use the temp product.image URL. And I make use of the image source equals, and I give a reference to that image URL. And image source is standard HTML work, right? So here we have temp product dot image URL. And that's pretty much it for that item there. And so again, it's going to serve it out of that assets/images/products placeholder.png. So swing over to our browser and okay, great. This looks good. The images are kind of big, but at least they're being displayed. And again, these are just placeholder images. We could always replace them with real images if we'd like. But let me go ahead and change some of the sizing here. So I'll just change the height. And I'll simply change the height to 50. And save and swing back. And okay, great. This looks good. So these are little thumbnails basically now of the product images. And we could always play around with other stuff, but at least we have the basics in place here. So we have our app kind of up and running with making use of images. And one thing here, I'll go through and add some alignment here. So class equals align middle, just so everything kind of lines up properly in the table. And I'll apply this to each one of the elements here. A little copy paste exercise. And then swing back over. And then we'll see how the text is aligned in the middle vertically for this given item. So this looks great. So our table's in place, looks good, and we've just added some image support. So I'd like to say, good job, my friend. Yoo-hoo!